Mese Malunga. Oh, Mese Malunga. Esanga mbote motindo ya weso. Primo babesa kambote. Segundo osongi sima. Tercio osimbi motema. Wapo oyesoba. Oh, Mese Malunga. Oh, Mese Malunga.
Matiosa, Jean-Claude, Salon de Papier, Afro-Américain, Atlanta.
Mesdames, et messieurs, je vous dis bon après-midi et bienvenue. Merci pour votre contribution. Puis merci pour votre invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another exciting edition of the program Ashford, Garley Live. I'd like to say a big welcome to Rosalind Dix, Eloise Salif Garley, Henry Costa Pekin, how are you? David Vasile. I also like to say a big welcome to Jacob Tor. Hey, Tabella could sweat, somebody picking could die. Vivian Hansford. Hello and welcome to the show. It's been a minute, my brother. Mona Cote, Lama Shepherd was sponsor for the week. That's one of the sponsors for the week. T-Bird and my good friend Oluwa Clark from Liberia. We're happy that you've joined the program tonight. And we also like to say welcome to Mona Cote again. Just do us a favor, folks. I'm telling you, we can, again, we have been blocked by Facebook, so we can't share the video. So what I want you to do is invite 4 friends, okay? Four of your friends, and share the video to them. Very shortly, we're going to bring you the lineups for both countries, play the national anthems, and then play some tabela. You know, hospitals, administrators in Liberia now are threatening to shut down because of the lack of basic needs where we had in that country. Well, let me just share this with you, just so you know we're professional voice-over coach. So if you want to get into the things of the radio, the microphone, just feel free to contact us. All right, we provide professional services as it relates to MC for wedding receptions, family reunions, you name it. We do the whole 9 yards. And we're also in the position to organize set up your radio station. If you're interested in getting into radio, we can do that for you as well. If you're also looking for a media consultant, where we build your radio station from the ground up, we have done it for a lot of stations. The records are there, and just feel free to contact us. That's what we do. And you see us come close to the microphone, and as high as we project, we still make you feel comfortable in terms of your hearing, because we were trained professionally on how to use the microphone. The microphone is not for screaming, you know. You whisper. When you're on the radio, you whisper. You don't scream and yell, because it's a discomfort to your listeners when you do scream in the microphone. And it just didn't happen overnight. We were trained professionally for this for decades, and then came to the U.S., went to one of the best radio and television institutions, and we are comfortable sitting where we are because this is what we have passion for. So again, it's okay to love something, but to be professionally trained to do that thing is another thing, you know. And let us try to love one another, you know. Life is too short, you know. Now is not the time to be fighting, you know, to be fighting with each other. I just stage in my life right now. When I get pissed off, I use profanity. That's how I stay stress-free, you know. And a 51-year-old man, I'm not going to pick up a fight with you physically because I'm angry. I give you one or two cuss words, you know, and I'm done with you, you know. And somebody said, "Man, you can totally die," because I'm a grown man. That's how I express myself sometimes when I get angry. So there's nothing wrong with it, you know. But I want to say a big thank you to all of you, our followers, our love, our fans. What you do on a daily basis, just that alone makes us feel good, you know. So again, please share the video, like the page, follow us. And one of the things that I don't see a lot of you people doing is to visit our YouTube channel. Visit our YouTube channel so that if you didn't catch the show yesterday or the day before or the week before, when you tap in political soccer game, the previous shows will pop up and you will have the opportunity to watch and just enjoy yourself. But while you're on the YouTube page, just click the subscribe to the channel, because in the long run, we're not going to be asking you to donate to the station. The station can pay for itself, but we need a lot of you to go on our YouTube channel, follow the page, like the page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and the whole 9 yards. In the meantime, folks, if you are celebrating the birthday today, I'd like to say congratulations, and let us show hope that you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. To this program, it's all yours. We have the political soccer game, and I'm told that the red gladiators, the hard-working sisters here in the diaspora, are getting ready to go against George Weah's Sunshine Girls, and that game will be played sometime next week. So we are putting the players together, and you know the players will have to register. It's $25 to register if you want to be on the field, you know. And again, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor tonight for this game, all you have to do, I'm going to tap in the Cash App, and whatever any data water can put a fire, whether it's $10, $15, $20, you name it. We appreciate you, because at the end of the day, we're setting up our television crew in Liberia so that you can have first-hand information as it relates to Liberia and other parts of Africa. And we can't do this by ourselves. You know, we single-handedly carry this load. Eloise and I, you know, we have about $25,000 to $50,000 worth of equipment in the studio that we shoot up ourselves. Now it's your time to help us, because this station is your station, okay? And the website needs to be maintained. We have to take care of the crew on the ground. They need internet connectivity. They need transportation to go to press conferences and all that good stuff. We can't do this without you, and that's what we need, your help. Okay, so having said that, folks, brace yourselves, share the video. Let me tap in the Cash App number, find the national anthem for both countries, and of course we can begin this all-important political soccer game tonight between the Liberian national team, the Lone Star, and Societal Ills. Let's play football. middle of the winter. I slept in the elevator trying to tell the heat down here. What? Damn it. I think shall I end you? And speaking of the local team in Liberia, ladies and gentlemen, please help me as we welcome Mr. Habiba Clinton from Liberia. Habiba, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Ashford, and good evening, everyone.
Okay, what's going on for your end? You sound so calm tonight. What's up with you, my man? You okay?
Well, not bad. It's just a matter of sometimes we just have to put ourselves in that mood at times. Sometimes life is not always just the same.
Okay, what is on your mind? Bring us up to speed. What's happening in Liberia?
Yes, let's talk about the uncertainty that hung over the death of Zunu Miller, OKFN talk show host. I've been some uncertainty emanating from various quarters. But on late yesterday, the family came up with a publication that the son, Zunu Miller, died from hypertension at the ERWA hospital. But that had not really been too certifiable. The press union, which is an umbrella covering all journalists in the Republic of Liberia and other Liberian journalists in the diaspora, are being so concerned and calling on the government of Republic of Liberia to conduct an independent investigation as it relates to the death, because though the parents happen to come up with their own saying according to the medical report, but other people are not satisfied, like a big institution like the POL. So the government did agree through a press release from the executive mansion read by Solo Kekpe. The president is quite concerned. According to him, they are willing to facilitate the process to conduct an autopsy over the remains, so that they are calling upon the family to select or appoint their own independent pathologist who will be able to conduct this autopsy. So we are waiting to see that, and people is appealing to the family so that they will not be able to want to carry on the burial as quickly as possible until the autopsy is conducted. And through our observation, reporter of British Radio Africa have been touring a bit, so to follow up some activities as it relates to commodity. I know through the time for the past 3 weeks, we've been experiencing high innovation have been a serious impediment for the movement of people. But this time around, red issue is so serious. Are you there, Ashford?
Yes, I am. Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Red issue has been again another thing coming up, popping up just as a mushroom. That is, rest. A bag of rest was sold for $2,500 for the past time, but now they had $200. 200 Liberian dollars been added up, despite the free tariff imposed by the President of Republic of Liberia for rest importation. But people have been so concerned about why there should be an increment this time around, why somebody should be buying a bag of rice for $2,700, especially when we are coming from the kind of, quagmire that have affected too many people for the past 3 weeks. So that has been a major concern in the lower house to Yakekolba, projected that, and the people have been so concerned. So they are now calling upon the Commerce Ministry and other to see how best they conducted a 12-man committee again to follow up this entire rest issue. So it's a bit of worrisome issue here at this moment. So Zodizo issue have been so another thing. People have been waiting to see the House of Elder to take in a unilateral decision or unanimous decision, let me say, because over the time, some decisions have been taken at that upper house. Everything has been led to political decision making. But the Liberians were taken by surprise that the Committee on Defense and Intelligence absolutely came up with their funding, and they're saying, I mean, the member said that Zonizo is not qualified, cannot pass the entire confirmation because he does not have that capability to occupy the position that should have been afforded him. So he cannot just go through and pass through the replicants, or they allow him to go on his own. So those are the latest on ground at this moment.
Well, Mr. Clinton, want to say a big thank you to you. What is also unfolding is that hospitals administrators threatening to shut down because of lack of basic needs, gloves, band-aids, needles. You know, and when I listen to the doctor, especially with the Phoebe Hospital, when he is saying that patients are going to the markets to purchase things that they need for surgeries. For example, this young lady said that she spent over $10,000 just to buy some things that she needed before going into surgery. In this day and age in Liberia, what do you know so far, Habiba?
Well, Ashford, the issue of TB hospital in central Liberia, the problem there has not just been a recent thing. Just something like just tackled just recently.
And that's true
because
in the report they say more than a year now they have not gotten any incentive from the government.
That's what I'm saying. From the onset, let's just say the process, this whole thing started 2017, end of 2017, 2018, 2019. Phoebe Hospital has received a serious financial slap. Issue of gasoline, a fuel, issue of medical equipment, and the payment of salary have been a major issue at that end. Before even the spiral, that could have been a financial spiral web spreading all over this various Leeward counties hospital, like the Telewian Hospital in Lufa County, like the hospital, like a 4-year hospital. Other hospital in Grand Bassa clinic, yeah. So this is not a surprise. This is not a new thing that's coming up. But government are always been using the means of coming up and persistently telling the people they are vigilant working and making sure that things will happen. People should bear patience. For the past 2 years, things were not too okay. You know, the persuasive method have been one of the issues on ground that government has taken so serious, but things is really not too okay. Like how medication, Liberians in the Leeward counties and other areas are receiving medication. I'm not really been too fine for them, you know, and many of those areas are virtually empty, like the current hospital. Let's just put it in the manner, current hospital. Totally, it's totally virtually empty. The medication, no drugs, and the workers do not have patients over the past 1 year. Even that's a private hospital, but they don't have subsidy given to them. Government not giving subsidy to that hospital, so it has served a serious setback for those who living with that confined, because that hospital in Lofa Poseidon is also have been continuing to people from the bordering points and other areas like the Zozo Salary district and other areas. So it's very strategic to see such a thing ongoing like that, even as much we talk about TB hospital. So the issue of the health sector is very poor. So we need to see how we pray that thing will be improved, because thing is not just an easy thing. It's not a new thing. That old things. 2 years now we've been facing this kind of problem for the past time.
That's the voice of Habiba Clinton, our local correspondent in Liberia. Thomas W. Gate just joined from the state of Illinois. The Godfather himself, Pop Zawiya, just joined as well. And I'd like to recognize the sponsors for this week: Lamin Shackled, Edmund Yates, Wokeman Sindolo, Ibit Liberia, Eric Marshall, Paul and Maximo, Ann Penn, Francis Power, Dr. Mariah Seaton, and Bindu Hunter. That's the sponsors. Those are the sponsors for this week. And Let me see. I hope I didn't leave anybody out because I don't want to get in trouble. These people went to the Cash App and said, you know what? You're doing such an awesome job. And I think we should help promote the show. Theresa Williams is also one of the sponsors for this week. Bosu Dober, Catherine Jones, and Mika. Mika is also one of the sponsors for this week. I will now go to Information Avenue, where Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts is standing by to give us event as it unfolds. And there are a lot of things going on in the field this afternoon. People are selling King Juice. People are also selling Kiss Meat, gravy, you need it, Kiss Meat barbecue. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we welcome Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts from Information Highway.
Good evening, Mr. Garley. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this evening. Hopefully you enjoyed the show last night. We had a great evening. We had a very distinguished guest, our own honorable and counselor, Jerome Verdier. We say thank you, Mr. Verdier, for coming and enlightening the people with such information. But also like to say thank you to all of our sponsors who are sponsoring this Bridge Radio going forward in this week especially. I would like to say please be mindful of the Cash App, which is pinned at the bottom of the screen. And for those of you who felt you were late last night or anytime, you can go to bridgeradioafrica.com. Thank you for your time. Again, I would like to, as I prepare to welcome our vendors and get the happenings on the Information Highway, I'd like to read a few comments. If that's okay with you, Mr.
Go ahead.
Garley.
Because we need a lot of good things coming out of Information Highway. So go ahead. You
okay.
Have it to your head.
We have Mr. Akbar Momolu. He says, knowledge is power. We appreciate you plenty, my brother. We have Mr. James Wewo. He says, journalist James Akwa. Monitoring.
James
Akwe. I apologize.
No problem.
Akwe monitoring from Waterloo, Iowa. And we have Soiree Yata. Good evening, everyone. We have Mr. G. Tape. I'm here watching from West Fargo, North Dakota. Michelle Bonogirl Batwa. Good evening, everyone. We have Lucy Akwe. Hey, Mr. Garley and family. I am on time today. Mr. Amos Toberson. He says things are falling apart between Prophet Key and Costa. It needs to stop. Jacob Toole Ashford. You make me to want to go back to school only to speak French. Wow. So we have Mr. Mika here. Hello, everyone. Amos Tobasi again. PYJ is watching you. Henry Pedro Costa Peking. I'm watching from George Weah's compound. We have Kali Blanc, 51. Boy, you looking good, man. We want to welcome all of our viewers from far and near. We also have Miss Fahan Joe. She's already ready. She's one of our vendors for the night. She has Kool-Aid, she has bread and eggs, but that will cost you 800 Liberty.
Did she pay for the boat? Because the Liberia National Police and the Monroe City Corporation Police are around, looking for folks who didn't pay. And Pamela King also paid and want to let the police know that they shouldn't bother her because she paid for the boat. And Fatou Badwe brought her cat Super Fufu. I don't know if she bought her ticket as well. So you might just want to inquire from them, because I don't want the police. You know that brand national police. They don't respect anybody. They come soon. Josh, we are telling them to do something. They go and start beating people. So I don't want people to be beaten and blame it on Bridge Radio or blame it on the Ashford Garley live. So you might just want to make sure that they have purchased their ticket for the game tonight and pay for the various booths at the various gates. Okay.
FYI, my fellow vendors, if you have not secured your booth, please see Evangeline Mami Ta. She is the booth lady, and you need to see her before you declare a booth. As I come around, I will definitely give you the flyer for her. Thank you for pointing that out to me, Mr. Garley. We also want to welcome Mr. Mika Yassir. We have Ms. Sarah Putuway. She said all the hospitals in LIB that are in the habit of giving people information to those that are not on your emergency list, it is wrong. Please learn to practice the word privacy, okay? So that's a public service announcement. Also, privacy is, I don't know if they practice the, it's a HIPAA or something, which is a privacy act that hospitals and doctors must follow. We want to also welcome
I want you to also find out if anybody has potato grains and rice, because Eloise has refused to cook the African food in the house, and I haven't eaten African food in a long time. She got all this salad and turkey breast and thing, and I want to go home. So if we can find somebody who got potato grains and rice, I can at least buy one bowl so that when I get home tonight, I can have my cold bowl with me. I want you to please research on that for me.
Yes, Ms. Dwayne Freeman. I know she told me she was bringing a special dish this evening, and she's I hope some potato greens is in that packet you have there. Ms. Nola Dennis, we want to say welcome. Ms. Hawa Meska is replying to Pamela. Pamela King, you see how it feels now. You haven't paid your fee to the NLP will carry your market. So yeah, I think we have another person here that hasn't paid, but you did recognize Pamela paid. How we have to scratch that police thing that she's coming for. But anyway, may I continue?
Yeah,
Helen Flomo, she says,
just before you do
hello,
that, I want
everyone.
to recognize two of the sponsors who just paid their money. Miss Nelly Say from the state of Atlanta, Georgia. She couldn't go to Liberia to see the game today, but she's watching via satellite. Miss Nelly just paid, and Mr. Faya Kofe from the state of Texas. He's based in Houston. He just paid his sponsorship as well. So Nelly Say and Faya Kofe, I just wanted to mention that they just visited the Cash App and they did their own contribution towards the game tonight.
Okay, I thank you, Mr. Garley. Before I hand it back to you, I want to welcome Ms. Saka Dean. Want to welcome Mr. Amos George, and again, we want to welcome all of you. If we didn't call you by name, please don't be offended. You're also welcome. I hope you have my cat and Fufu at VIP. Fatu Bodu, he wants to know. You're going from issue to cat now?
I tell you, from issue to cat. And another thing, Mrs. Roberts, one of the things that we have to stress on is the people have got to share the video. For example, we have 182 people watching right now. If each of these folks on here, our lovely and hardworking fans and followers, if you can just share the video to 4 of your friends, will be in good standing. So please share the video to your friends, and don't forget when you make the podcast, go on YouTube, type in Political Soccer Game, and subscribe to the video as well. So you will find out that most of the videos that you made, you will have the opportunity to revisit the video, and you might hear something interesting. So please don't forget to share the video. Don't enjoy this game by yourself, because we have some new players that we are going to introduce tonight, and we just want you to invite some of your friends, because your friends are not my friends. Facebook has blocked me. I will not have the opportunity to share until at least April. for a reason best known to some of our Liberian brothers and sisters who feel that they are entitled to Facebook. So please do us that favor by sharing the video to your friends, your relatives, and loved ones. Mrs. Roberts.
Yes, I also want to point out Mr. Lama Shepherd is saying he wants no issue in that potato greens tonight, please. So I don't know if that's like a special
but then again,
appetizer.
I have no control over those who prepare the potato grain. You know, sometimes the issue can be so sweet that you can realize you get it a cow made. And one way somehow some of us it issue in Liberia, because I remember in 1996 during the April 6th war, there was no meat in the time, but we went to eat GB and we're just eating all kind of meat. Come to find out that sometimes the issue we're eating. So again, we don't know how these people are preparing these foods. So I'm craving for potato grains and rest of dry meat. If I issue, well, if I eat it, it'll be after the story. So ain't nothing to worry about. Catherine, you serving potato grain and dry meat. Please make sure that you don't have issue in that food, because we're giving you a fair warning. Because if you do, then that lawsuit we're talking about. So my sister.
No, but just to point out, Catherine has she's selling her potato greens has dry meat, dry fish, dry boonies, red oil, and $25 per bowl.
You know,
she
sometimes
says dry.
You can say dry meat, but not every dry meat are cow meat or deer meat though. Because issue when they dry the issue, you can't tell whether or not it's an issue or deer meat. You know.
Okay.
Now,
Pabzawi just arrived on his private jet.
He borrowed a private jet from George Weah?
I'm not sure, but you know, he's one of the vocal critics, so I don't think he will be borrowing his private jet. He probably has his own to compete.
Okay.
Also, we want to welcome Mr. Sekou Asumana. We want to say thank you for joining us, Mr. Lofa Julius, one of our advocates. We have Mr. Remy Edmond is watching also. We have Ms. Bless Sompong Batu. She says, barbecue with cold beer at gate 4. So I'm going to come around. I want to welcome Ms. Juanita Say and Mr. Garley. I will come back when I get myself situated with all my vendors, so I can know who's selling what at what gate.
Okay, sounds good. And let me also recognize Miss Terry Choir. She has rubbed potato grains with cassava fish at gate number 9 for just $5. Mr. Lofa Julius, one of the knowledgeable young men. We're proud of him. That this guy is highly technical when it comes to acting. He has been very instrumental in helping our bridge radio as well from the back end in terms of some of the technical issues that we face. I see him appear here tonight. We want to recognize his presence, keep up the good work. At the end of the day, this country belongs to all of us. Henry Phelps, Henrietta Bush Courier is also here tonight on the field of play. Henson Brooks is also in the building, and we have Jacob Tu. It's a bonjour. Is that banjo? Banjo your bowl for $5, man. And he asking me to banjo the bowl now for $5. Jefferson Dory is also on the field this afternoon. James Wewon is here. Bless Sompong Batu is also here as well. And I see the Sekou Asumana. And like Mrs. Brooks said earlier, Pazawi is here in his private jet. Matthias and Glay is also here as well. Soiree Yata is on yet. Vivian Eastman. And it's also that she said, hey, my sister Eloise, please don't punish my brother Ashford. He loves his potato grains with rice. I am begging for him. Well, that's what she's saying. Then we have Mr. James Townsend. Is also on here. But on a very serious note, let us go back to Liberia and find out from Mr. Habiba Clinton. We have this breaking that Mr. Prince Johnson is upset, and he said he regrets the moment he ever supported the CDC, because we're hearing now that President Weah just appointed a new superintendent of Nima County without getting in consultation with Prince Johnson, and with that, Prince Johnson is flaming right now. What do you know so far, Mr. Clinton?
The leadership problem in Nima, Prince having to be somebody, obsessed with this megalomania, very megalomaniac. Everything he says, everything he does should always be defended. Everything should always be in his favor. For the past time, I think 1 year now, Prince and the superintendent for Nima had not been in good foot. He always pushing for that the superintendent gets fired, dismissed based on his will because of the seniority he played in the election. George Weah is his son, as he alleged. So everything that he says, the president will be able to follow. But there have been some low profile. This issue of a dismissal and replacing the superintendent with another person have been something like anticipated for a very long time. And he have been that one that said that when the superintendent then is dismissed, he got the right to select who is to be the rightful person who got more to serve as a superintendent, because he's the first person in Nima. He's been the senior senator, but that could not be the one he was taken by surprise. So all the time he always feel that he failed a little because of the pivotal role played during 2017 election by Kevin George Weah in Nima County, using all his political means to having an alliance or what electing this president. So when everything that goes in his favor will be like he's going to be having a deserve of respect. But I believe, and trust me, what is unfolding now is something like he has been taken aback, and the person who he expected to have served in that post had not been the one was appointed. So that got him unsettling at this moment.
Well, today is one day after the coming in of 12,000 metric tons. Some people are saying that 19,000 metric tons of gasoline. How do you see things now in terms of people trying to get gas in the country?
Yes, I'll thank you very much just for putting me on track. Up today, the way in which you could see the vehicles and motorcycles trooping into various filling stations, it's not like that now. I have dropped gradually, and you'll find out that you will see maybe 2 or 3, 4 cars parking, and they are served. And one thing, what took me by surprise yesterday, Calondo gas station. This station had not been very functional over the time, but due to this scarcity and gasoline issue, I saw this filling station supplying gasoline to cars. So every setback is an advantage for somebody. So people begin wondering, why is this way? Is it because this government is pushed on the wall, on the margin, and the feet of this government is in the fire? So I got no alternative. They need to accept others to join the supplying welcome. So there have been the plane of cars in the street, huge and ever before. Unlike those days, maybe for the past 5 days, 1 week, to see the trooping of cars plying the street, and people are not been facing that much problem with their movement. It's not like that now. I think thing is coming on to normality, and it's just a matter of the transportation fare. So if the transportation fare having to drop gradually, then things going to be a bit stabilized. But the only thing here now is about everyone pray if rice price will be stabilized or it will climb up. That's a uncertainty in the worrisome aspect of our status at this moment, because rent issue, Ashford, is not a small thing.
Okay, again, folks, that's the voice of Mr. Habiba Clinton from Liberia. He's our local correspondent in the West African state of Liberia. Again, please share the video. Your friends are not my friends, and besides, I have been blocked because somebody from on the social media told Facebook to block me, and I would not be able to have the opportunity to share my own video until at least April. So please share the video. Like the page, follow the page. When you miss this broadcast, we didn't come on time, make sure that in your spare time, go on the YouTube page, just type in Political Soccer Game, and you will have the time to see most of the shows that you missed. And please also subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Okay, and having said that, let me take time to recognize our sponsors for this week. Fire Coffee from Houston, Nelly C from Atlanta, Georgia, Lama Shaba from New York, Edna Yates from Seattle, Washington, Workman Sandola from Boston, Massachusetts, Abed Liberia from Philadelphia, Eric Marshall from Philadelphia, Pauline Maximo from Philadelphia, Ann Penn from the state of New Jersey, Francis Powell from Europe, Dr. Mariah Seaton from the state of Illinois, and Mrs. Bendu Hunter from the state of California. And these are some of the sponsors for this week. And we'd also like to say a big thanks to Theresa Williams. Thanks for your sponsorship. Musu Doba, Catherine Jones, Mika Ye. Want to say the big thanks for what you've done and continue to do. What's the other name? Pamela King, is that the name? Pamela King, want to say the big thanks as well for your sponsorship. Having said that, folks, we'll now go and play you the national anthem for both countries. Then we'll introduce the officials to you, bring you the lineup for both countries, and then we can play Political Soccer Game. Let's play football.
I punch a buy to the dust. Let people come here nuts. Let the people that shut out more. When I tell you what you said, and you see that guy living up, that's how because you're not getting a job. Telling people actually high enough. But I'm not log at more. All the trust are the force of the critics. The only thing we see that wretched, they just talking how the John plenty. Then I walk in and love you were bringing for 250 for iron. So 2 vita can even go pepper soup. The gas fire way and money coat. What proper? And
that's the national anthem for societal ills. And societal ills is from the country in central Liberia called Bella Yala, and that's the home of societal ills. Let us now take a listen to the national anthem of the Republic of Liberia, headed by George Weah. And that's the national anthem, folks, for the Republic of Liberia. And I'm telling you at this time, providing entertainment tonight is Mr. Jack Norman. DJ Jack is one of Liberia's hottest international DJs. He's based out of Philadelphia. That this guy is international. He goes to Jamaica. He goes to Europe, Asia, you name it. And he's one of the big names in the business. So if you have an occasion, birthday party, wedding receptions, family reunions, it's this guy that you need to call, DJ Jack. And folks, with that said, Lounge Band number 1 is the Senate. Lounge Band number 2 is the House of Representatives. Your chief referee is the Supreme Court of Liberia, and the match commissioner is the U.S. Embassy, while your chief commentator is Ashford the Giant. That now you know me. One copy, Garley. Let's play football.
Yellow boy say darling club boy say.
And for societal ills, our team tonight we have executive torture. When people put you in mattress, tie the mattress up, and beat you until you die, that's executive torture. When they give you milk and honey, mix it up, and say drink it for days that you're on a fool, that's executive torture. When you can't see daylight, when they arrest you and you disappear from the streets, only God knows what they're going to do to you. That's executive torture. So executive torture is one of the players tonight. As a result of executive torture, we also have another player called internal bleeding. When people beat you, when they fix you up in a mattress and tie that mattress and beat you up, they will break your bones, they will crush you. Physically, you might look okay, but internally, you are damaged. So we have internal bleeding tonight on the field of play. We also have abuse of power. We have human rights abuse. Then we have witch hunt. 60% evaporation. How can gasoline evaporate? Nobody can smell the gas. The tank is not leaking. But all of a sudden, 60% of the gasoline just evaporated. And sometimes when you're dealing with these people, again, people will not tell you things that they can't trust you. Okay? A high-profile government official said, Ashford, my brother, we are investigating ourselves. Because in the real world, the managing director would have resigned. The president would have said, you know what? You and your principal deputies, I want you people to resign as we investigate the missing of the 12,000 metric tons of gasoline. But then again, Liberia is not a country. Liberia is a country friend. Liberia is a country want to be. Liberia is a country to be. The countries is the people running the country are useless. The president is useless. He's irresponsible. He doesn't care about the people of Liberia. It is all about himself. How do you expect anything good to come out of this country? You know, so again, 60% evaporation is one of the players tonight on the field of play. Then we got finger in the tank. You know that way back thing where they do measurement, they take finger, they put it inside. So when you test what they say, oh, we got gas. Then they get sucked from the mouth. You know, when your car needs to break down and you can't get enough gas in the carburetor, you take the tube and suck it. They still suck it. They still doing suck it from your mouth in Liberia. Because back then, a few years ago, they had something they call transparency report. But because these people are criminals, these people want to steal. So they introduce something called suck it from your mouth, finger in a tank. So the moment the testament guys, oh, keep holding. So suck it from your mouth, finger in the tank. These are all players. Then we have provisional lifting. You know, you don't got gas in the place because George Weah gave gasoline licenses to some black money people. They will go to LPRC and say, borrowing initiative, please borrow me some gas. My tanker is coming next week. Behold. You know, no tanker coming. You don't got no gas coming. That's one of the reasons why we are in this mess in the first place. Then you got week to week. And you know, when you don't get credit, you know, go find some of those cheap motel or those cheap apartment where you pay month to month. This time, Liberia gasoline issue now has been resolved to week. They will bring gasoline in the country that will last for 1 week, 5 days for the gas to finish. Then they put in for another gas. Now, if the ship for some reason delay, then they run to Freetown again. This is where 1 day supply will come in. And that 1 day supply will just be there to link the Liberian people to the next vessel. So you got week to week now as one of the players tonight. Folks, brace yourselves. Share the video. Invite a few friends. And this is just the starting lineup. Let us not go to the substitution this afternoon. This is Brace Radio at Ashford.com. You're listening to Ashford Garley Live. And yours truly, Ashford the Giant. That now you know me, one copy Garley. Let's play football. Back to the battlefield of the board comes to lies to rhetoric, aka rhetoric to economic sabotage. Economic sabotage looks around to theft of property to conspiracy, criminal conspiracy, and misapplication of interested funds. And the board comes back to ghost employees. You don't have any working presence in Liberia. You're in other parts of the world, but you're still on the payroll in Liberia. And this ghost employee guy is a very dangerous player. While other people are looking for jobs, you are in other parts of the world, but you're still on the payroll because George Weah is a criminal. George Weah does not mean well for this country. Then the ball comes back to power theft. Government officials are stealing light. Do you know that government officials, those who owe the $3,000 to $4,000 with LEC, they call the operation guy and gave him $200. You know, call the operation guy and gave him $200. The man turned the light on. They got something now where you can pay small money and you don't have to pay on a monthly basis. I've forgotten the name, but just pay small money and they put you on a budget where every month you got your light coming. They can't tell me what they like, but the people who really want the light can't get it. And besides, the electricity in Liberia, just the Christmas light. You know, 1 week they'll say today we're supplying real light. The following week they say we're supplying Mama Point, all road, just like that. In this day and age, we are rationing electricity now in Liberia. You call this a serious country? They will also have selective justice. Selective justice is a very dangerous player in Liberia. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf destroyed the country. She stole from the Liberian people. All her sons are millionaires. Her son took upon himself, unauthorized, by the house, and printed money. He went to jail for 2 days. In fact, before he went to jail, they fixed the jailhouse, paint the place and all, and guess what they did? They put in big fence so that because the president doesn't come to jail now, the ex-president doesn't come to jail. You remember when George Weah said he was going to protect Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her family? That's exactly what he's doing. He's not going to order this woman. He's not going to order her children. But the man complained that he needs to go to the hospital. He needs to leave the country. He wanted to go to India. Guess what? George Weah allowed that to happen. But because Yeke Koluba disagreed with you, Yeke Koluba is pointing out your criminal behavior. And today, Yeke Koluba cannot be given a pass to leave the country to go see medical attention. You want to see Yeke Koluba killed? George Weah, is that really what you want to do? This is not fair. Selective justice at its best in Liberia. I mean, just what did we do? Just what did we do to deserve this? George Weah, this country does not belong to you. This country belongs to every Liberian. And we're hoping that you will change your attitude. Nobody hates you. But one of the reasons why I can't stand you is you came to power stealing after you claimed to love Liberia, only to find out that you love yourself, you love your family, but you hate Liberia. Now Liberians are suffering because of you, George Weah. You were peace ambassador. But today, look at us. Look at our country. We're one of the worst in the country. Look at Nesdo, Sierra Leone. When the president smelled foul play, what did he do? He suspended the executive officials that were involved into the alleged corruption saga. But today, we can't find 3 million gallons of gasoline. And the managing director of LPRC still enjoys the comfort of taxpayer money. She has a vehicle, she's still going to job and getting paid. The deputy managing director for Operation Bobby Brown, another criminal. And I know all these boys. I was the MC for Bobby Brown's wedding, 1998, before I came to the station in 99. Bobby Brown got that job ever since in the early 90s when his brother Louis Brown was managing director of LPRC. You think this stealing business started just now? Charles said, just used to tell Louis Brown, say, I need $300,000 US today. And when Louis Brown is leaving, he'll take that money in bag to Charles Tiller. When Edwin Snow was Deputy Managing Director of LPRC for operation and subsequently became Managing Director of LPRC, he was getting 3,500 gallons a month just for him being Managing Director of LPRC. So all these people are criminal. They know how to do provisional lifting. This is not something I just started. You want to lecture me about Liberian politics? And when I say Edwin Snowden stole from LPRC, that's how they got money to be able to run campaign and subsequently became representative. And ever since then, they're still there. All these people don't mean well for the country. These people don't love Liberia. They are Liberia's problem. And until we can get decent people to truly love Liberia, we'll continue to be in this mess. We also have Gorilla Foster Child, aka Bill Twawe, Leposi Babon, aka Samuel Toy. Then we have sex trafficking, wasteful spending, police brutality, money laundering, borrowing initiative. Nelson Passequa, Drunkard, aka Von Von. We also have unemployment, hard time, outside Tully. Liberia now is being compared to outside Tully, my people. George, we have built a mess called 14 Military Hospital, when in reality it's just an urgent care. Can you compare with that piece of trash that George we have built on the Shuffling Highway with the hospital that was built in Nima County? At least Eddie spent about $10 million. George Weah is claiming that he spent almost $50 million. Look at that piece of trash. Compare that with the hospital in Nima. In a rear country, that's $3 to $4 million a building there. That urgent care on the highway. But then again, Liberians, we are so gullible. Then the ball comes back to pay as you go. Pay as you go now is what Liberia has resorted to. Because we abuse the overdraft protection privileges in Liberia. We stole from the World Bank. We stole from the donors funds. When they ask us, we say it was borrowing initiative. How can you borrow something without telling me? This is my shirt. I own this shirt. You can't take my shirt and say you borrow it. That's stealing. When a small man steals, you beat him up, put him to jail. But when the big people steal, they say they borrow. In some instances, they say investment. Where are we headed? Where are we headed, my people, as a country? Back to the field of play. The ball comes to desperation. Desperation to drugs abuse to no light to no gas and no water. Then the ball comes back to me, myself, and I. George Weah wants everything for himself. The ball comes to hypocrisy. Hypocrisy looks around to sycophancy. Sycophancy to misplaced retaliation. Then the ball comes to murder. Better to statutory rapist. Statutory rapist to retaliation. He's going deep out of the field. The ball comes to insurrection. Insurrection to presidential brown envelope. Presidential brown envelope to witch hunt. Witch hunt to Monkey Web Baboon Draw. Monkey Web Baboon Draw to Boyo to country local. Then the ball comes back to border wide open. $5 to cross the border, $10 to cross the border. George Weah can't pay the border patrol officer. So as a result now, the border patrol officers are in fact taking bribes. You give me $5 a year, $10 a year. Guess what? You will bring the drugs in the country, and nobody will ask you questions. And this is what we're going through now in Liberia. Border wide open looks around to the fugitive, then to the return of the fugitive. The ball comes to JR push it on the death squad. Death squad to incompetent 14. Then the ball comes to shake from the waist below. George Weah is so slow from the chest above, but very fast from the waist below. This is the kind of person we have a president in Liberia. And I swear to God, if George Weah was going to be living in America, he would have been diagnosed with learning disability. George Weah would have been diagnosed with some type of mental disability. This man can barely express himself. This man can read at a third grade level. This is somebody we have as president of the Republic of Liberia. Can you imagine mentioning the name George Weah and William our Toba in the same sentence? My people, where are we headed? This man is having sex in exchange for jobs in our country in this day and age. All he wants to do, drink Hennessy Esso and have sex. That's all he wants to do. That's all he cares about. The boy comes to mattress on the back. Mattress on the back to sex for jar. Sex for jar to hang my curtain onto thread on the needle. Thread on the needle to presidential brown envelope. Looks like he make it. The boy comes to Johnny Table. Johnny Table to sex for passing grade. Sex for passing grade. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. The boy comes to Von Von. Drunker, aka Von Von. Von Von to Boyo. Boyo to monkey with Baboon draw onto provocation. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Boy has been taken away now by Samatue. Samatue to National Bank. National Bank back to Samatue onto Musa Den. Musa Den to George Weah. George Weah, aka Sunshine. Aka Shine Alone. Aka Video Hunter. George Weah got a beat. Deer on his back, the fallen tongue on his side, and guess what? The smallest girl, he wants everything for himself. George Weah wants to be Muslim, he wants to be Christian, he wants to be part of the Polish society. George Weah also wants to be part of the Masonic craft. Just recently, when they had the Miss Liberia, George Weah was so angry that they didn't put his picture on the wall to be Miss Liberia. George Weah wants to be Miss Liberia too. The man wants to be part of everything. Back to the field of play, the ball came to human sacrifice. They kill people, rape you, kill you. In some instances, they take body parts for juju purposes. You call this a serious country? Human sacrifice to executive torture to internal bleeding to abuse of power. Abuse of power looks around to human rights abuse. Then the ball comes back to witch hunt to 60% evaporation, finger in the tent, transparency report gets a better hand. The ball comes to provisional lifting. You know, you put 1 cent, a penny you put there. You go to LPRC, you say you want to do provisional lifting. The gasoline is not yours. Why are you taking people gas with no intention of paying the gas? Liberia has been around for 172 years, and guess what? Liberia is operating gasoline business now from week to week. And you call this a serious country? Week to week now. That's how you can get gasoline now in Liberia. Week to week, my people. That the kind of thing we're facing here. The ball comes by the Bill Twawe, aka Gorilla Foster Child. Gorilla Foster Child to Simon Toy, aka Leprosy Baboon. Leprosy Baboon looks around what he make it. He connects lies. Lies to D-hole cover hole. D-hole cover hole to sex trafficking. Sex trafficking to wasteful spending. Wasteful spending looks around. Somebody said the president is watching you. Then he continued to watch. And he left football, that football playing so. Then the ball comes to Drunker, aka Von Von. Von Von looks around to unemployment. Unemployment to hard time. Hard time to flip him away onto outside toilet, aka Liberia. Outside toilet looks around to hospital friend. Hospital friend to hospital look alert. Then the ball comes back to pay as you go. Liberia has damaged our overdraft protection privileges now. This is not a country. This is a country local like. This is a country friend. When you play football and say, I play 6-5 and give you 6, then I see what president said there now. All he wants to do is play Lulu. He won't play Tate. You know? You call it a serious country? When a high-ranking government official said to me, Ashford, my man, it happened. I said, why? He said we stole from ourselves, and we were investigating ourselves. I said, when I saw they will not reprimand the managing director of the LPRC. I said, I beg you. The president told the people to steal the guy. How to fire that? In a real country, in a real world. You're saying that I live in Detroit. When there's a malfunction for the production of these vehicles, where the brakes failed and people start to get injured, the CEO will resign. But in a useless country with an irresponsible president, do you expect anything of such to happen? It will never happen. Because George Weah does not mean well for Liberia. George Weah does not mean well for the people of Liberia. So we'll continue to face this problem. Some of you are sycophants. Some of you are hypocrites. You can't look this boy in the face and tell you, say, he made a mistake or he messing up. The man puts on his pants, one leg at a time, like you do. I mean, just put the health of George Weah that you can't stand up to. You know why I can't live in Liberia? Because I know how I'm feeling. I swear to God, I know how to. That the dead will kill me. I know how to have my feeling. I can't see stuff going on and keep my mouth shut. No way. It's not going to happen. And that's why I can't live in Liberia. Because George Weah will kill me. I would give him help every day on the radio. But I'm in Liberia. But some of you, when George Weah in now, as all law and gospel, To the point where when George Weah see your significant other and tells you, I like that girl, because you want a piece of job, you will allow that to happen in this day and age. Liberia has always been this hope of Joe. Liberia sent you to school. You got your degrees. You go back to Liberia and you start to steal from Liberia. Liberia is paying your mortgage. Liberia buying your homes in Nigeria and Kenya. Liberia is paying your child support. Liberia is paying your student loan. But the people in Liberia continue to suffer under this clown. All because of what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did to us. This woman has been into the bloody politics of Liberia for ever so long. You brought up down, you went after Dole, you went after Taylor, and the people say, you know what, let us just give it to her. Perhaps you'll do better. After 12 years, in the event where the children steal, you say you will take responsibility. Christiana Tar, the former justice minister, when your son former Sally stole $200,000 from their Korean businessman, the woman was going after the case. You told the woman to leave the case. The woman said, no, I can't leave the case. You said, I'll tell you to leave the case. The woman said, well, if I'm leaving the case, I'm going to resign. That's a woman with integrity. Musa Din wants to drink Jack Daniels and Coke. Joshua does not respect Musa Din, and Musa Din didn't need a job to survive. Every day Musa Din crying in Gola. Hey Daya, Daya, hey Daya. That's how Gola can call God in the language. Daya. The man crying every day. Hey Daya, I know what I'm saying anything here for. Oh, I know. Hey Daya, Daya, hey Daya. The man crying every day. In the event where the man resigned job, I said, no, you're not resigning, you're still there. My people, we're in a big mess. Under this boy who doesn't know his left from his right. This boy who can barely speak to the people. Have you heard George Weah say something since the shortage of gasoline? He's not going to talk. Now that he can't talk, you don't know how to speak Bibo, Georgie. We know. Speak the football English. Now the jack get new news of George Weah and call Taba. You ask the crew, when crewmen say Taba, what it mean? They mean all the useless people now part and either only person that coming behind all the useless people will stick. George Weah is now called Taba. A very useless, irresponsible clown we have as president of Liberia. And do you expect the country to go any further? Liberia is not going anywhere anytime soon. When George Weah sat down and said in 2 years, he did the most than any president in the history of Liberia. Can you imagine that? George, did you forget that in the 70s and 80s, Liberia were exporting rice under the leadership of Turbert? Do you know we have factories running in Liberia, in Gardensville, all that spot, that particular spot in Gardensville, factories all over the place. When you start hearing battery factory, Chingisu factory, people had jobs. Look, when you take care of the bread and butter issue for your country, your people don't have to suffer. They don't have to get angry and take to the streets. Today, George Weah is witch hunting people. George Weah is telling the Liberia National Police to beat protesters and say there's no time for you to protest. And you call this man a serious president? Hey God, to the opposition, I am begging you to come together, hold together, and make this boy the one-term president. That is only if he makes it to 2023. You have the opportunity to work together, stop the fight against each other. Look among yourselves, brainstorm, and come up with a solution and find somebody that can change the narrative. You have potential investors that can come to Liberia right now. Because George Weah said, quote, You will never walk freely in Liberia if you insult the president. The moment he said that, people started going after innocent people. Look at the young man that was beaten the other day, somewhere in Congo town. Why are you insulting the president? Why are you doing this to the president? Shokon Roberts is the director of the EPS. Shokon Roberts formed part of the executive torture squad of George Weah. Look at Zeno Miller, a very quiet, feeble young man. He's not even as critical as Henry Costa or Ashford Garley. But today, Zeno Miller is dead. And let me tell you something you don't know. You know, Saturday morning when people went looking for the medical records of Zeno Miller, Shokon Robert already had a record in your hand. You said the man died from pressure. But Shokon Robert, you're not part of the Pure family. Where are you getting the record from now to say the man died from pressure? This boy, we feel this boy. But day by day can't hear, day by day can't make mistake. We already feel this boy. When that boy said that night, I was brutally handled. But the EPS, in the presence of the director, Shokon Roberts, the next day he complained about severe pain from the chest and legs as a result of the brutality. A week or two later, he died. And they said, oh, that pressure killed a man. They wanted to sweep this thing under the rug until the people say, you know what? Let us try to do some type of autopsy. Dangerous things are happening in Liberia between 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. George Weah has tasted power. And George Weah is not the same person that you think you knew. This man has become very dangerous for Liberia. He has become very dangerous for the people of Liberia. Listen to what some of the doctors in Liberia had to say. You know, I was surveying the internet earlier today, and something I picked up from the front page. Africa. We hear doctors saying we are facing serious medical shortages that affect how we do our work. Simple things such as gloves, band-aids, and needles are not easy to get in the 21st century in a country that is 172 years old. There are times where I have to operate without surgical gloves, and you say he used the short gloves which are used for basic consultations. This is something coming from Dr. Jefferson Sibley, the IT medical director at Phoebe Hospital. But George Weah wants to fly private jet. George Weah wants to travel in 2 days and spend $270,000 US. When there's no working dollars machine in the country. George Weah wants to get drunk. He wants to have sex with multiple people. George Weah goes to work at 11 o'clock. He leaves at 3 and say he's going for 12. Some of the young people, you know what they say when somebody say I'm going for 12? Going all it means you're going for lunch. George Weah spend 2-3 hours there. He goes for 12 to Jamaica Resort. At the end of the day, then they all start to play tate. And they said that Dr. Sibley also complained about the shortage of fuel to run the generator at the hospital. Since September of last year, they have fuel shortage. No fuel to run the generators. We said this thing on the radio many months ago. In the event where the Minister of Health will come out and say, when you have emergency, you should have money to buy 7 gallons of gasoline before the ambulance can come and pick you up in this day and age in Liberia. in an event where a woman died after she gave birth. They couldn't find an ambulance. And they start to tow that woman in hammock. 2 hours walk from where she was to the hospital. 30 minutes into the walk, then they saw the ambulance coming. By the time the woman has already passed away. Why are we dying from preventable diseases in Liberia? Because you have a president who doesn't care for the people of Liberia, even though they say he's popular. And this voting for popularity business can really cause trouble at times, you know. We need to do better. We need to do better, folks. Now, some of the things are very graphic, especially when the doctors start to talk about playing with blood and all that kind of stuff. In the Eastern, where because of the sharpness of the glove, blood end up coming on the hand. You see right now, ain't it different now you can have hepatitis B? Because he came in contact with blood. But this man went and built urgent care when he could have fixed the small issue. Bring JFK up to international standard that used to be long before the war. But you can't do these things. Oh, now come up here, build JFK, so I'm not going to put my money there. I'll build my own hospital. You see how small-minded we are as country people? We're not even civilized. We're uncouth. We're buffoons. When you are the leader of the country, it does not become about yourself. Put the people first. I will say this to you, and you will say that not even country there. I'm driving from Congo Town. I get to Vamoma, not Vamoma. I get to the Nigerian house, the Nigerian embassy, and I stop to the red light. The boys there on the pen telling me, say, what kind of stupid papa here? So why you stopping to the left? When they look in the car, I say, how you doing? They say, oh, you're from America. You think that America, yeah? You stupid papa. Why you stopping to the left for? You think we can stop for real, yeah? This is something you call country. And I'm telling you, this is a real story. You go to the banking institution, the people want you to feel guilty. But when you're getting paid, I come to withdraw from the bank, or I come to get my money transfer, and you are telling me I got to bribe you, I got to give you something. I am not used to this kind of thing. I've been out of there for a long time. Why should I have to bribe you to do your job? And when I organized radio station from scratch to finish in Liberia, everywhere I went, I had to wet the people palm. You got to give them something. I mean, from the business registry to the information ministry to the LTA, before you finally get your frequency or your licenses, you have to bribe the people. I mean, just what kind of country is this? You think this is a country? This is a country, friend. Opposition, political leaders, please bring integrity back to leadership. In fact, one thing I know, sir, most of these opposition political leaders will even do worse things than George Weah. Because some of them who are head of political parties were criminal before. So, Liberia and locket ticket, bucket ticket free roll. We all will play Adana, we'll play hopscotch and everything. Coco and Missy. I gave you 6-5. I play 6-5, I gave you 6, then I Lulu. Now how would you need a country now? When people in the government are saying we want to say some things, but we don't know who to trust. They are so angry with this man. They say the man is so greedy. People that came from the diaspora that have jobs in the country, guess what they're saying? They're saying we just here to suffer because the guy here working for is all by himself. You have your little sweetheart, you're doing fine. Joshua sees your sweetheart, and he approaches your sweetheart and tells you, say, I like your sweetheart. Just the same thing Chancellor used to do. You be in love with this girl, and Chancellor say, oh, you want the girl, or you want your job. The person I say, I like the girl, then you say you're in love with her. This is the kind of nonsense that is going on in Liberia. That the day to bury me. Let me be working my Jew and they clown with be up on me, tabaka and say my man, and then go tell the president call. President call for what? When you and the president, you got to? Eh? If I'm working for you, you must say got to. You must significant order you got to. Try that nonsense. You know, the one why I go away, not be $5 one, to be $20 one. I'm telling you. Back to the field of play, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing you play description this afternoon. The ball comes back to executive torture. They're torturing people in the country. They are beating people and killing them. He must sacrifice. He must sacrifice to internal bleeding to abuse of power, the abuse of power to human rights abuse to witch hunt. Witch hunt looks around. Will he make it? The ball comes back to provisional lifting. Provisional lifting looks around to week to week. Liberia has become week to week supply country. Bring gasoline in the country. After 1 week, the gas will finish. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we come to the end of the first half. No score to either side. No score to Liberia and no score to Societal Ill. We will now go back to Information Highway, where Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts is standing back with some more information as to what kind of food the people have around the field. Mrs. Roberts, the microphone is all yours. Mrs. Roberts, are you there? Okay, let us go to Mr. Habiba Clinton. Clinton, are you there?
Yeah, I'm standing back.
Okay, bring us up to speed as to what's unfolding right now in Liberia, my brother. We're at the halftime right now. No score to either side, no score to Liberia, and no score to Society. Listen to it.
Yeah. As I've been following you pertaining how Liberia is being ruled by this government, let's just say the president. In life, people must have moral. And when a leader is being appointed or elected, leader cannot be appointed, can be appointed at times. What you do? What you do, you should be always down to earth. You must learn to satisfy the people who elected you. You're not there to be self-centered. You're not there to be some kind of greedy hunter like you always put it. You must learn to want to meet the demands of the people, address the needs. One of the errors that this president ever committed was this issue of when he was elected after his inauguration. And he speeded when he said that he's going to give Liberia back to the Liberians. But that alone, he always been in contradiction. All of his statements have been ironic. And that's what I really perceive about his activities. And he needs to really work on himself. It's not about just the able lieutenants serving as hypocrite and being sycophantic, but the leader himself needs to be wise. It's not about just followers trying to brainwash you or control you like a remote control, but you need to be a wise man. That's what makes a leader. So for him, he need to work on himself. Seriously, he need to work on himself. And most of the things that happen within his government, he must be held liable for many of the things. It's not about just his able lieutenants.
Okay, that's the voice of Habiba Clinton. And folks, it is very hard to forget about the 25 million that was supposed to use for the map up exercise. And I will continue to bring this back because the people think we are stupid. Just listen to some of the names. And when we read our report, when the names came up, I defined it. I defined the name and listen to some of the names. God is able foreign bureau. And my definition for that is, meaning with God, we are able to steal this money. Then they also have nothing past God foreign bureau. God will make us succeed in stealing this money. The empowerment foreign bureau. This is our time to steal. Then you also have surprise foreign bureau. Liberian people will be surprised. We give them Huawei. Then you also have convenient foreign bureau. But what thing they will be surprised for? And the stupid by making our stealing convenient for us by making this TV rogue we are president. Then you also have abundance foreign bureau. I said, McGill. That's Simon 12 speaking now. I said, McGill, tell we are not to worry. The money is here in abundance. When this one finishes, we will go to the donors fund or go to the World Bank. Then you also have determiner foreign bureau. We are determined to flush the country down the toilet. Then you also have good rate foreign bureau. Our girls then who want to go to China to buy goods, will just give them good rates. Then you have standard foreign bureau. But the Liberian people said, no, we not get standard. So when they hear about our stealing, they will not do anything to us. Then the new one, the last one, Moten, they see the new foreign bureau. Then McGill, Toy, and Joey, they're live. We are the new rich people in Liberia. Hey God, we can steal. And speaking of the exchange rates in Liberia, Habiba, just before you do that, let me acknowledge our sponsors, folks. This week's sponsors, we have Mr. Fayako Fed from Texas. We also have Nello Said from Atlanta, Georgia, Lama Shopper, Edmund Yates, Wokiman Sandolo, Ebit Liberia, Eric Marshall, Pauline Maximo, Ann Penn, Francis Power, Dr. Mariah Seaton, Bindu Hunter, and we also have Theresa Williams. Okay, Theresa Williams is in fact one of the sponsors for the week. Theresa Williams is here. Then we also have Musu Dober. We have Catherine Jones, Becca Ye, and Pamela King is also here as one of the sponsors for the week. Then we have Dr. Mohammed Kenneth. Dr. Mohammed A. Kerner is one of the sponsors of the week. I almost left him out. And hey, Habiba, let's talk about the exchange rate for a moment. Tell us about the exchange rate and give us some of the prices for the local commodities in Liberia.
Yeah, with regard to the exchange rate personally, we found out that most of the areas you follow, there's no stabilized rate here. Every morning changes, especially for those who are along the street, doing their own, profiteering, I may put it that way. Central bank has a stabilized exchange rate, but most of the time when you go in the street, you will find out that a dollar is equal to $1.90, is $1.95. 1 USD is 195, and which of course, if you try to convert that, you get the total like a $5 is $985. Certain area, a certain area where you go, we say it's 194, 196. So there's no stabilization in the rate here, and not many have the means to want to go into the central bank to do the exchange rate here, because they confine in those various vendors along the street. So many a time, people are doing their own thing, as we see currently.
Okay. Do you see Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts? Anywhere around information how we're there? Letty, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Garley.
Good. We called you earlier. Perhaps you were dealing with some of the vendors. So we're all ears now listening to you. Henry Phelps was asking about the meaning of issue, and we say it was dog meat. So go ahead. We're listening to you.
Oh my God. Yes. Coming from Information Highway, Mr. Garley, we have some in VIP. We have some potato greens as requested by you.
Oh man,
with some dried meat, some dried bunny. We have some oxtail as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We going
like
big.
Should I real oxtail? My name was.
That my answer. So we have also some cold beer and some pepper crab in VIP. At gate 1, we have some palm butter and fufu coming from the Cotton Tree by Miss Diane Freeman.
Okay.
We have at gate 2, we have some GB at gate 2 by Miss Helen Noah. And at gate 4, we have barbecue with cold beer by Miss Bless Sumpon Batu. At gate 5, we have some hot goat soup by Miss Pamela King and fried cassava leaf soup at $10 a bowl with Miss Soiree Yata. We have some Killer Willy at gate 7 by Mr. Jonathan Colon. Either he's selling it or he brought the person that's selling it. But I know he was mentioning Killer Willy. And also we have at gate 9 some raw potato grains with cassava fish at $5 a bowl by Miss Terry Choir. So at this time, I'll read few comments, Mr. Garley. And at gate 10, okay, I just see we have at gate 10 some case meat and pepper soup by Abraham Bobley. Welcoming Sendolo says she has some GB at gate 2. How did I miss that? Yeah, they have. Okay, he said she will have some. Yes, we do have some GB at gate 2, and we have Stanley. He says, "Hey, I break the news. The president have vacancies requirement just come to his house 3 a.m. and the job is available for females." So these jobs are for female only? Okay. And Alvin Perry. Is my sister Saba Harris here today? I don't know if you've seen Saba Harris, Mr. Garley. Tanya Seville is watching. We say you're welcome. We have Mr. Abraham Bobley again. I'm watching from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Okay. Go ahead.
And Ms. Howard Meska says, today the Senate wasted 2 hours of our time watching them argue like children, talking over each other, using their phones about getting microphones. These people get paid $15,000, imagine, and they're using their phones in the chambers.
Wow.
Yeah, but Mr. Garley, as you were talking about, some of the corruption, I happened to come across an article as well from Africa and World News, which is about the country of Angola. They seized some Chinese property that were built by looted funds. This should send a message to Liberia, okay, that if you loot, your property will be seized. So these are some of the things that we are talking about regarding accountability. People are not being held accountable no matter what kinds of crimes they commit.
Okay.
But I want to turn it back to you. I'm sorry? We also have
to see that, bro.
Yeah. They talk about it. I have heard Mr. Lynn Len Eugene Nangbe speak about people property being seized. They were doing, finding people who owe Liberia money, and up to now we haven't heard anything. But I'm sure the reason why we can't hear anything because right in their nose there are people being they're looting the country and they can't do anything about them. So how can you go to the past when you can't deal with what's right in front of you? Okay, thank you to our viewers, Mr. Habiba Clinton. We thank you for always taking time to wait until the end of this show. I know it's late where you are, but we want to say thank you.
And Mrs. Roberts, want to say a big thanks to Mr. Emmanuel Ducola, and because of what Mr. Ducola did for British Radio, next week we will start the production process of British television in Liberia, and that's a good thing. The guys now have the equipment, and they will also be going to press conferences, and they will be giving us news in real time. That is a blessing. Mr. Emmanuel Ducola, who we discovered right from this show, was very instrumental in doing that for us. But just before Habiba comes in, we have a caller on the line from California. Hello, caller. Tell us your name.
Good evening, Ashford.
Yeah, you live. Go ahead, my brother. Tell us your name.
Yeah. Same for Roberts, aka Lord Bless, aka Lord Bless. Yeah, good evening to everybody, and I want to say thank you. I want to thank the British Radio family and fans for keeping up the show. That's good. This British Radio always keep us informed, and I want to congratulate all the folks on ground in Liberia, Abiba Clinton and the team, the rest of the other team out there. I want to thank you guys. You guys are doing very great. So quickly, Ashford, you said something during your presentation about the red light issue in Liberia. I experienced that as well, and I just thought to share my experience with you guys. And then there was an issue also that happened in one of the local banks in Liberia. I went into the bank, I sent money to myself, and I wanted to collect the money. And then while I was in the queue waiting, this gentleman came. He said, "Oh, I can make you get whatever fast." So I said, "No, I will wait. I'm sitting here." And then I was sitting in one of those benches stuff. And then I managed to, whatever the day, I managed to get my money. And then I walked out of the bank. That guy had the mind to walk behind me when I was already outside the bank trying to get in the car. He walked behind me and said, "Oh, the people that are behind in the chair, to the teller, he asked me, he said, "Oh, he's supposed to get a small thing." I said, "Small thing? For what? Why is he getting small thing?" So that was one of, I got pissed. And I just said, "Okay, I tell the man I'm going to come back, but I don't have money." So I left. And the same thing too with the red light. I stopped at the red light, and then the same motorbike guy came and started blasting. He started to move on the road. So I said, okay. But I just say this to say, we are experiencing these things because the society, these things have become norms. So it's like some of us who came over here, we adopted this system, and then we try to practice it back when we go home. Now, we look stupid to everybody. And then they too look funny to us. So sometimes when they're doing these things, we just need to try to, if you have the time to educate them, go ahead and do that. If you don't, you just move ahead and go do what you have to do. Quickly, let me touch on the issue of the journalists. I think the family did not treat their son well. This guy's in the middle. I listen to him sometimes, and he was a very good guy. When it comes to how he handled his presentation and stuff like that, he tried to be balanced. And I used to admire him and kind of monitor some of his shows, his program. But the way the family treating this case, if it was something that, hey, somebody could come back alive and say, "Hey, I don't like what you guys doing, or people doing to me," I think Zeno was definitely going to blast at his family because they're not treating him well at all. And he as much as family is saying that, oh, we should forget about it, but I think there are a lot of Africans out there and the Liberian people should always try to push this thing to make sure that we see the bottom of this case because it could be, I mean, it is Zeno Miller today, but what happens to the next person? And there are other people out there, you know, apart from journalists, but other citizens out there that their name is not in, I mean, on the radio or whatever, private citizens doing the stuff. So we need to be careful and we try to see how best we got to keep pushing these things to be able to put the government forth to fire, and try to get them to do the right thing. I want to thank you. And I was also talking about my business. I want to try to sponsor the show for next week, SM Communication. So I want to talk to the business office or Letty. So I'll invite you and let me know what I need to do. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And speaking of sponsorship, thank you so much, Mr. Roberts. Speaking of sponsorships, we want to say a big thanks to the sponsors for this week. Lamin Shepherd, Fire Coffee, Nelly Say, Edna Yates, Wickerman Sindolo, Ebit Liberia, Edna Yates again. And we also want to say a big thanks to Mr. Eric Marshall, Paul and Maximo, N-Pin, Francis Power, all the way from Europe, Dr. Mariah Satan, Bentu Hunter from California, and these our powerful sponsors. I'm surprised up to now, you know, and we say, you know, and then they what they can put a fire. Nobody now shake the cash rooms, the cash outside, you know, even though the number up there, you know, but we still drive to that. But anyway, I mean, I left. We see Theresa Williams is also here as one of the sponsors. Musu Dobert, Catherine Jones, and we also have Miaka Ye and Familiar King. You know, I want to say a big thanks for what you've done and continue to do for British Radio. Mr. Emmanuel Decola, I want to say a big thanks to you for what you've done. I don't know who's driving the private jet, who's the pilot for Mr. Zawiya is here, and Sherry Roberts is in had Ashford the Giant got Beatrice Wilson, one of our supporters as well. And speaking of what Mr. Roberts just talked about, Miss Howard Mesker, I forced him marriage on again. I miss Howard Mesker. I always say Mrs. Howard Mesker. Maybe the 2020 that whole year. She said she would not stop talking for our victims in Liberia. But the family of the victims, they have to be cooperative. Because at the end of the day, this is Howard bread and tea, her bread and butter. When you touch one, you touch all. She doesn't discriminate. As long as you victimize somebody in Liberia, you better know that Howard Mesker will come after you. But the relatives of the victim will have to be willing to cooperate with their advocates. And that's all she's asking. Okay, so folks, again, the telephone number to call is 248-979-1718 or 313-408-8396. And we want to go around the information highway again to see what Letty has before we go to the second and final portion of this political saga game between Liberia and societal ills. No score to either side. No score to Liberia and no score to societal ills. Mrs. Rabbits. Okay, well, Habiba, perhaps you have something to say before we go back to the field of play. What do you have on your mind?
Yeah, with all of the good things being said, fighting corruption, and the only thing that we Liberians can do and also fight towards establishing is this issue of getting rid of compromising societal ills. And it's a serious problem in this country, from hell to bottom. And the government, most of the time, you find out that bigger people do a wrong thing. And if you come out, that will be part of, sweet talks. And we're going to take tension, decision on this. And those who involved will be penalized. By the end of the day, you'll find out that nothing will go nowhere. So people always like to compromise issues in this country, all the way down to rape issues. So if we have a very good government, because we got all of the thing put on in place, we got all of the good thing on books, but the implementation is a major problem, Ashford. So to just do, go ahead to fight corruption, rape, and all of those things, armed robbery, we need to do away with compromising issues. Because if we have just caught one person and penalize that person, because every crime that's been committed, when you are deterred from that crime through punishment, one or two persons having to see that, other people will not want to go there. Even down to this electricity theft. And if you happen to want to grab somebody who bypassing and taking current somewhere, and that person is being penalized, it deters the person. Other people will not want to do that. But they're too much of, compromising. And this person is my nephew, my cousin, my niece. It's just what they want to cause a serious problem in the Liberian society.
Yeah,
I concur. I'm sorry, my microphone was up. Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts is back now in Information Avenue. Please bring us up to speed. Perhaps you know something that we don't already know.
Yeah, Mr. Garley, again, I want to agree with Mr. Habiba Clinton. This is a true statement. Someone has to be made, I wouldn't say sacrificial, but someone has to be used as an example, so that to deter all of this looting and thievery that's going on in the country without any accountability. But we want to say thank you to all of you. The public service announcement that I wanted to make, again, was to let people know that you cannot just come and take a booth. You have to see one of the head vendors to see how much or where you can take your market. So please be considerate, because some of these booths are being reoccupied when they have been paid for already. But somebody just brought some fufu and red palm oil okra sauce. Ooh, it sounds delicious.
Right.
And it's by Miss Vida Donner.
I say, but Vida, that girl, that Colonel girl, she paid for her booth.
You asking me?
I'm asking you, because you
oh, that's the thing. That's why I made that public service announcement, because I don't want the vendor police to come and embarrass anybody, because we value every patron here tonight. We like the food, and we don't want the people to be buying food, enjoying it, and then the police come and scatter, and everything be all over the place. So we want to just make you guys mindful. You can inbox Mr. Garley, inbox Letitia, ask me what booths are available to make this very interactive and spicy.
And I don't even know what took Howard Meshka to Maryland. She know the rule already called. Howard Meshka went to Maryland. She stayed there 2.5 weeks. Okay, and now we haven't heard from her. She's back in Monrovia now for this game. And I want you to please plan with Howard Meshka, Terry Choir, and the rest of the other folks, because next week is the Gladiators. The Red Gladiators will be going against George Weah Sunshine Girls. And I hope you're getting ready for that game, because that game will not be easy. But before you comment on that, let us go back to the phone line. I believe we'll have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you call from.
Hey, Ashford, this is Victor, man. Victor, what I call it.
Hey, Vic, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. All right. Yeah, I'm calling from Dallas. Brother, let me tell you something. If we are serious, to really put a stop to societal ills in Nigeria, we need to do one thing as a people. That is, let me tell you, all the robbery that was going on, the armed robbery and the stealing that was going on in Liberia, what stopped it was when they started burning those guys. When the people took the law in their hands, because every time they arrest them, they take them to the police station, they were working for the police. They will let them out. The next day they're out. So the people took the law into their hands. Same thing with rape. Same thing with stealing, corruption and stuff. If someone is corrupt and we all know that the person did it, because the money that they're using to build houses could be used to build hospitals and clinics for us. But they stop and they're killing people. That's murder by itself, indirectly. So if we take the law into our hands and start whooping the people, disgracing some of these guys, beating the devil out of them, if we do it to one or two persons, my brother, let me tell you something, Ashford, I'm doing it the radical way. We'll set a precedence. You understand what I'm saying? It will be a message. Other people will see it and say, you know what, these guys mean business now. If they can whip my friend for stealing, I think I need to stop stealing. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you can beat a young man for stealing self-when, kill him. What can you beat a minister that will steal millions of dollars and build houses? Let me tell you, if we don't take the law into our hands, our children will be raping our country. Nothing will happen because the rapists are the ones that are making the laws. Most of them are the ones that are making the laws. If they're not doing it, their friends are doing it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So let's take the law into our hands, brother. This is too much. Every day you and I wake up. Every day there's somebody raped. Well, all the women in Liberia, you can just walk around and get anyone to sleep with you, but you got to rape a little girl? You know what it does to that child? You know what it does to that child? And every day we say, look, that's fight. That's fight. We'll keep fighting until our children are all dead. Let's take the law in our hands. If you steal, you corrupt, we know that you did something. You stole money from the country. We refine you. We disgrace you. We beat the hell out of you. They will set a precedent. Other people will see and say, you know what? We need to stop stealing because these guys are already getting serious. If you rape, we arrest you and probably castrate you or do something to you. But other rappers see it. They will not happen again.
Thank
my
you,
brother,
my brother.
This is the only way we can change Liberia. God bless you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
You know, I want to surprise one of my little sisters here tonight, Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts, if you can permit me just before you come in. Her name is Markanet Pico. She's from London, and this is song that was done in her honor.
Show me love way past Markanet. Anytime I smile, you can turn me on, puts me on. Anytime I smile, you can turn me on.
Markanet Pico is from London. She's married to Mr. Joseph Cheer.
I don't see you kind. Anytime I smile, you can do me like say. I don't see you type. Baba can give me the fire.
And Markanet, I hope you're enjoying this one.
Fire, can give me the fire.
And this is something that was produced by our own Sierra Leonean sister for next door Liberia. Take a listen to a few bars of this song. Then we'll go back to the telephone line.
Show me love. I go malane you, Baba. Show me love way past Markanet.
We have a call from California. Hello, caller. Tell us your name again, please.
Yes, Ashford, this is Sanford again. I just wanted to respectfully disagree with my brother Victor. I don't think because we have people doing things wrongly, so we should follow their path. I think the Geneva Convention or the human rights do find on mob justice or mob violence. So I think the best to do is to always fight to do the right thing. We should not encourage mob violence. So I just wanted to disagree with him on that part. There are other ways we can approach issues if we see somebody who carry on the act, we try as much as possible to pressure the government to do the right thing. I have girls, so I will always try to protect my girls from this kind of mayhem. But I don't think we should encourage mob violence, because sometimes these things happen. Sometimes mob violence, you may tend to get the wrong person, and thinking that you actually handling the right person. I have seen that several times, and some people will just. I think it happened some years ago in Ghana. These military guy was killed on something quite simple, and it was an error, and he just lost his life.
But Mr. Roberts, Mr. Roberts, let me ask you this: how can we pull a stop to this madness, to this nonsense, where your niece comes from the up interior, your sister's daughter, and your sister said go and live with your uncle, and this child, 12, 13 years old, becomes your sex slave? How can we put this nonsense to a stop? If we don't set some type of precedent, I mean, come on, the people continue to go through this. You know, have this car that they have to live with for the rest of the life, man. Come on now.
That's why we coming together as a pressure group. You know, COP. COP should not just attack political issue. We should also attack social issues, social justice, and all these other stuff, right? So we like I remember Henry Costa was talking about, we will have some legal teams and stuff like that, and then we should also have some women group. This is my suggestion. We should have some women group or some other group within the COP to be able to prioritize or educate women, both boys and girls or whatever gender, and to just go on this campaign of educating people on this kind of thing. If you are violated, if somebody rape you or whatever, if you feel that you're intimidated by somebody, we'll protect you. We'll carry you to a safe house, and then we will try to get all the necessary evidence, and we will try by all means to prosecute the perpetrator. You know, so we should not try to take the side of we won't try to take the side of the victim. I mean, not the victim, but the prosecutor. The perpetrator. But we should always try to encourage the victim or who be victim to come out, to speak out. Even if the family try to say, hey, like what happened in the case of Zeno Miller, we will always try to encourage people to speak out. And then because one of the reasons why this thing happening, because the victim is afraid that if he or she speaks out, definitely something gonna happen to that person. You know, that's what the thing. But if you give the assurance that, hey, if something that happened to me or my child or somebody, I know I have the backing and the protection of the pressure group, the COP or other civil society organization that will protect me. Like in the case of Justina, Liberian people came together and protected her, even though she was. It was late that she was already a victim, but there are ways in which we can approach these things. But I don't think we shouldn't encourage violence. That's one of the things, because you will always try to get the wrong person.
Thank you, Mr. Rabbits. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, let us go back to the line. We have 612-205-1826. Tell us your name and where you call from.
My name is Fatuma Kamara, and I'm from Minnesota.
Okay, you're live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, well, I just really agree with.
Could you speak a little louder, please?
I strongly agree with what the young man was saying. You cannot use violence in return of violence. You know what I mean? To solve a problem. And in as much as the other men who were speaking, I really agree with what he said. This is painful, but I think we should come up with another solution, because if you kind of look back, if you look at history, in Liberia, a lot of things happen and people try to pay it back in return. and that's why it led to a lot of problems. So I just think some kind of awareness, letting those girls know about their body and letting them to know what to do will also be another, way that will help us out of this thing. It's really painful, to be honest. It's painful. And those who are even leaving from the United States, young men leave from this country and they go talking about they have young women in Liberia, they have young girls, 13, 15 years old, 18. I'm like, you kidding me? You in America here, you are 40-something or 50, 60.
53, 54. What kind of conversation you can have with a 13-year-old girl,
Yeah. They talk about, beautiful little girls, young girls, I'm a godfather. Can you do that to children here? Now, if we go to school here and we go back home, people are not implementing. Another person spoke about society norms. The corruption in Liberia and everything, we are now willing to change. So we just need some kind of really awareness. I'm not really keeping really, really well with Liberia's politics, but every time I go on the internet, it just kills me inside. I listened to another lady who's called Howard Mescal one time. I don't know her, but she was talking about every trauma is something. She was talking about her sister who got raped. It brought tears to my eyes, and immediately I went and requested her as a friend. We just need some kind of awareness. And I really agree with that young man. It's painful. But if we try to burn these people, how are we going to present Liberia to the world?
Thank you, my sister. Thank you so much. And speaking of Howard Mescal, she's coincidentally on the line. Howard, welcome to the show, and thanks for calling.
Thank you, Mr. Garley. Thank you for having me. Hi to all our audience members. I just want to go ahead and bring back to the previous caller, Mr. Roberts. I talked about comparison of laws in the United States and Liberia, and specifically. It's funny how we always, most Liberians always do the comparison with a third world country that is one of the fourth poorest nation in the world. And so they were looking at the list of countries that are declining and poor. Liberia is number 20 now on the list. Okay, so when he talk about, we go by statistics, we go by numbers. We don't go by one story that happened in America here, you compare it to an entire country. That mob story he's talking about, that was a case that went beyond the Supreme Court, and it went to the law for it. Yes, mistakes happen in America, but we have structural law. Okay, Liberia doesn't. So when people say Liberia got it wrong, the other country didn't get that one. We are not focused on other countries. That's our problem. We need to be focused on ourselves. Do you see Ghana and Sierra Leone and putting their mouth on us? No, except somebody attack them. They are focused on their own country and what their country is supposed to do. They allow Liberians who live on the diaspora, including me, every summer. I deprive my kids. I go to Liberia, I go to the rural areas. I don't even go to Monrovia. And I go to areas and I sit with children and we have town halls. We talk about their bodies. A lot of Liberians do that here. It sounds nice when you say we'll have safe house for girls, people to come there, we'll do this one. It sounds nice until it's implemented. Ellen Johnson, other people then know all about these structural things. They didn't put it into place. Now we come back again to another regime. They're not putting it into place. So we can say, we want to say and make all the nice things and all the nice things. I went to the Liberian justice system because I came from a country that had a system. So I went to Liberia. The first thing I told my family, we had a meeting. Let's go to the law. I gave the Liberian justice system the benefit of the doubt. I went to the law. The same Musa Dean went and discussed my family stories with people. She came from America. She thinks she's a boss who brought people around. Musa Dean went to law school in America. He knew if he was in America, he would not discuss my sister's story on a liquor table. He would not discuss me as a victim's family on a liquor table. Okay? I went places where I even asked questions. I did not even ask for victims' information. I was giving those information, which was also a breach of privacy. So when you're talking about countries like America, yes, bad things happen. One guy came in my inbox, they kill people in Chicago on time, people in Detroit, and I said, everywhere in the world has loopholes. The reason why you can see that I can be in the country and know that if I drive drunk, they will arrest me. If I abuse children in this country, they will arrest me because I got it in the back of my head, knowing that there's a law there that can hold me accountable. We don't have accountability in Liberia. So it sounds good. Nobody's talking about violence. We need laws that will work. Saying something that, we'll just try, we'll make, no. The Liberian and the reason why Justina said that was left out of Liberia because conscious Liberians help her to get out. Nobody helped her to get out. Conscious, the system did not help her to get out. Our advocates in Liberia, our conscious Liberians, but the one that helped her to get out. So that comparison with Justina Taylor was just it was not even a correct comparison for this particular topic. You know, every day in Liberia, 5 to 7 girls get raped, and that's not even including boys. So we sit in the diaspora, we're not present on the ground, and we don't know the reality. So come and make comparison. It's not a rightful comparison. Until the COP or whoever go Liberia and implement law and register their organization, and we know a building is there, we know lawyers and we know professional counselors are there, then they can come back and talk to us. Until then, we will be exposing the stories, we will be calling people out, and we'll also be giving our case to international platforms. We're not going to continue to play the game and still going to put on the table or let's pray to God and wait. No, I work in the Liberian system. I shook people's hands. I cried to them, gave my mother justice, gave my sister children justice. I did everything that the law told me to do, and they still failed my sister. So nobody should say we got laws and people there. No, we don't have. We have selective laws. Okay, if my sister had a name, if her last name was today I saw people like Oscar Cooper in the Senate. You know how long I've been hearing Oscar Cooper name since I was a little girl, and I could not even know how to even use the bathroom. My grandparents spoke about Oscar Cooper. Now today he's still in the Liberian Senate. There's no laws being implemented, and people say, "Oh, we're going to go to the law." If we had a law, so fine. But we didn't. We wanted the justice sector. We stopped that when people asking our family, we want a pathologist. They said the government don't have money to give us an autopsy. So how do you tell me and the victim family what should I do? And it's not even me. That's like Kamara's family, who did not even have money to put their daughter's story on the newspaper. I got there. I was the first person the family ever had contact with since their daughter was killed in Palm Springs Hotel. You telling me there's a law? A Nigerian man murdered a Liberian girl and he was able to leave the country after he was arrested? How did he leave Liberia? How did he leave? You know, so we should put these things in reality and be honest with ourselves and say, we know there's something wrong. Who can we push to hold people accountable? We can't be playing these games and kind of be talking all these nice things that it's all a dream. No, we want to see things in action. We want things to work. We want if a little girl called and said she was raped, I want her to go to the law and somebody at the law can take her and say this case will push this case. You know how many cases in Liberia that have not even been touched? And that's not even the past regime come into this regime. We can't be doing it as a people.
Thank you, Howard.
Liberia are situation when the case is not at their door.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they don't feel it. Thank you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you. And that's the voice of Howard Mercer, an advocate on the program tonight. Let us take a few words from our sponsors.
Yeah, all the people go also. You can't no food. That one, they issue me talk. I beg you, man.
No, my man John, that bar you do. No, that bar. Hey, my begin, what happened?
I said, my man John, I do verse. All day today, I was walking. They gear bending. No car to go hustle. I can't. Jebena himself go small driver. I go ask her. She issue me talk, telling me say she tired and I'm feeling okay today. So she will start cooking the time she feel it. She not feeling cooking. Oh, I said Jebe, what thing making you not feeling good? Jebe want talk bad to me. I whistle on your ear. All the people go hustle. You can't no food. That one, they issue me talk. I beg you, man.
No, my man John, that bar you do. No, that bar. Oh, but you don't know beating woman understand now? Ever say this time, my man, we can just talk to our woman. You can say sweet into them. We can talk it that sweet. No, you can say my chemo, hey my darling, my sweetie, hey man, I'm hungry. Now where do you go today? Or the thing you do, I don't like it. But to be woman that bar. No, I say my own chemo. The naked way I can talk to her set. Everything can be all right. She can be happy. I can get anything I want. And you know it. And you see how she can be happy with our children set. So low, John, my brother, when you vet, I had your friend here. Come lecture with me. I will lecture you how to take care of a woman to cool your heart. I will show you woman 101. Beating woman not good. You are a star. And look at you. Who the woman you ever? Because when your friend, man, he will bust your dude.
This announcement was brought to you by Diaspora Women for Change Incorporated and Alliance for Liberian Women International.
Woman, I see a woman every day in the
And thank you so much for making us your choice for entertainment. If you have a business out there, then you need us to advertise your business. All you have to do, just reach us at www.bridgeradioafrica.com, or just go to our Bridge Radio page and leave a message. Okay, having said that, let us continue to say the big thanks to the sponsors for the week, Mr. Fayako Fair, Nelise, Lama Shepherd, Edna Yates, Workman Sandolo, Ibit Liberia, Eric Marshall, Pauline Maximo, N. Penn, Francis Paul, Dr. Mariah Seaton, and Bindu Hunter. Let us also visit the rest of the sponsors here. We also have Theresa Williams. Want to say a big thanks to you, Theresa. Musu Dauber, thanks for your sponsorship. Catherine Jones. We also like to say a big thanks to Mia Kaye. And we also have Mr. Mohammed A. Khanat. Thank you so much. And Pamelia King. We want to say a big thanks to all of you for your sponsorship. It's surprising that tonight we haven't gotten any word from the cash app, but it's all good. And I want to go back to Information Avenue, Information Highway.
Puts me on.
Information Highway, where the Mrs. Lexi Brooks Rabbits is standing by. Before we go back to the field of play, we have to conclude this game. Liberia has 0. Societal Ills also has 0. Who becomes the winner tonight? In this political soccer game, big question. We're going to have to find out when we come back for the second and final portion of the political soccer game. Always remember, tough times don't last, tough people do. This is yours truly, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. That's why they call him the giant. That now you know me. One copy, Garley. Mrs. Lexi Brooks Roberts from Information Highway. What do you have?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Garley. Again, I have a moment in history. As I go around the Information Highway, I think I've covered all of the goodies that were brought on this field of play tonight. And if I missed anything, you may please point it out to me. I think I missed gate 3, where I told you they had some pepper kala and some juicy gravy. And also we have some barbecue with that was already said. Juicy pepper crab by Terry Quire. We also have some rubbed potato greens with cassava fish at $5. So Terry Quire is occupying gate 9 and gate 5. So I think she needs to see Miss Hawa Meska. No, she actually is at gate 4 also. So gate 4 and gate 9, Miss Terry Quire, please report to the vendor in chief.
And I hope she paid for it. That who know you think I hope that is she bringing you. Not because you know somebody now, so you might bring all your goods and you can't pay for the boots. And besides how
we're not tolerating that because we are against societal ills.
We also have Evangeline Maminta, and that she and Hawa then taking care of that thing. So who Terry doing her thing that now that who know you think not because that.
Okay, so we want to welcome Miss Marie Kwade. We have Miss Tali Jaffa Bolu. He said, thanks, Sis Hawa, for that. And Miss Evangeline Mamita is trending. She says, a Nigerian murder got away with killing a Liberian, but they passing all around worrying about Henry Costa. Somebody also has some Henry Costa and Prophet Key gravy on the field here. We have also Lord Blesson Roberts. He said, Hawa, I was basically trying to state an event that took place where mob violence caused someone to lose his life by mistaken identity. We have Wakima Sandolo. Well said, Hawa Meska. And we want to also welcome Stanley, who is replying. She said, it is she. Is she your daughter? And did you marry her out? I think that's a ginger tea. Somebody was calling Miss Hawa Meska, Miss Hawa Flomo. So that's a ginger tea right there.
Let a ginger tea know.
Okay. Yes, that's part of the game. But in all seriousness, are you ready to close, or are we coming back?
We still got to go for the second and final portion of the game. You know, we just have time doing so. So, guy, about 15 more minutes to bring back the field of play. But let us go to Liberia, where Mr. Habiba Clinton is standing by. That perhaps he has something to say. Habiba, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm following up the information highway. Not so much for now.
Okay.
From my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to go back to the field of play.
Show me love with pass
We're back to the field of play this afternoon, folks. I'm telling you, no school to either side, no school to Liberia, and no school to societal ills. The ball came to corruption. Corruption looks around to ungrateful corporate. Ungrateful corporate to payment wear to strategic marriage. Strategic marriage looks around. He making that he doesn't. The ball comes back to I give you 6'5", and I take 4 from you. It's called Lulu. Then the ball comes back to D-Ho cover hold. D-Ho cover hold to Drunker, a.k.a. Von Von. Von Von to Opium King Kong. Opium King Kong looks around to White Tea Black Hat. White Tea Black Hat to Cialis on the Viagra. Viagra to Beta Cola. Beta Cola to Papa Dream Mama Happy. Papa Dream Mama Happy to Koshiako on the West Luku to Kukatono. Kukatono to I place is 5. I gave you 6, a.k.a. Lulu. Then the ball comes back to gas shortage, a.k.a. 1 week supply. Week to week supply. 1 week now. After 1 week, then the gas will get such again. Then we beg the people again to bring gas in the country. Then the ball comes back to D-Ho cover hole on the Gorilla Foster Charge. The ball comes back to Lebanon Babon, where he make it no he doesn't. Then the ball comes back to sex trafficking. Sex trafficking looks around to wasteful spending. Wasteful spending to police brutality. Police brutality to money laundering. Money laundering to borrowing initiative. Then the ball comes back to Nolly Posiqua to Drunker, a.k.a. Von Von. Von Von to unemployment. Unemployment to hard time. Hard time to please pay away to outside toilet, a.k.a. Liberia. Liberia has not become an outside toilet. Then the boy comes to urgent care, a.k.a. 14 military hospital. The boy comes to pay as you go. Now, Liberia ain't got no good credit. Liberia stole from the World Bank. Liberia stole from the donors' funds. Liberia stole from the Social Security account. Liberia also stole from Central Bank and the Reserve in New York. So Liberia got no credit right now. So anything Liberia, cell phone said now, Liberia can get it in on there. You know, and that's how bad it is in Liberia right now. So anybody who's thinking about getting a government job, you think you're gonna be doing something, you're on your own. So the boy comes down to desperation to drugs abuse, onto no gas, no light, no water. They are rationing electricity in Liberia. 1 week you will have light in Congo Town. The following week you go to Painesville Red Light. Then the following week you go to Gardnersville and Mama Point. That's how they are treating Liberia in this day and age, in the 21st century. After 172 years, we have no stable electricity. How can you attract investors? Back then, and George Weah wanted to come out and lecture you about him being in power for 2 years, and he did the most than any other leader in the history of Liberia. Tubman was there for what? For 27 years, and in 13 years, Tubman built the executive mansion, the Temple of Justice, you know, and the executive pavilion. You know, there are a lot of things. You know, the Capitol building. You know, but that man, yeah, come here, he bring the sidewalk tested road there, and as he builds the road, he continues to steal from the country in terms of kickbacks, and he considered himself doing something for the country. When on top was administration, we were able to export rice from Liberia to the United States, including other parts of the world. On top of administration, we have factories in Liberia. You heard about the Chinese factory, the battery factory. the zinc factory, all the things were produced in Liberia. They were producing matches and all those things in Liberia. Today, Liberians who work hard and construct the cocoa farm and coffee farm, guess what? George Weah is trying to give exclusive rights to foreigners to export cocoa and coffee. So the hard-working Liberian people now, after they produce their cocoa and coffee, they will go and carry it to the Lebanese man. He will buy it from them very cheap. Then he exports it at a very high rate. At the end of the day, we become slaves in our own country. This is just not fair to Liberia. This is just not fair to the people of Liberia. George Weah, what did we do to you to deserve this? You know, listen to Councillor Jerome Radio last night. We have these sound people as Liberians. They can't go to Liberia right now because George Weah will wish hunt them. And others will put their pride on their feet and go and accept a change from a piece, just a pocket change from George Weah. You put your credibility on the line. You know, when the former President Pro Tem John G. Ramsey said to Dole that you'll be president forever, Dole believed in that nonsense. That's how he got killed. Because he felt he was just going to be a dictator forever. Where is Samuel Dole today? Where is Charles Tiller today? Where is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf today? They're all gone. They're all history. Today we have this little boy who can barely express himself as president of Liberia, and he thinks he owns the country. My brother, don't forget, history has a way of repeating itself. And the good thing is George Weah is very young, and you'll be very young when that day comes where you see George Weah in handcuffs. You know, when Stephen Tower built the Stephen Tower estate and built the Cabral estate, he thought it was going to be for him. But when the Tower turned, it became government property. When Tower built Old Matadi estate and New Matadi estate, all he thought it was going to go to the Tower family. But today it's the property of Liberia, the Liberian people. So you can build your 49 units, your duplexes and everything. You can break down your home and rebuild them. You never did these things when you play soccer at a very high level. But you're doing them now at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people, and you think the Liberian people will allow you to slide? All we are asking for us to attract responsible people, for us to attract investors that will come to our country and invest and make the private sector boom. The opposition politicians have got to come together and make this boy a one-term president. You know, and send a message to the boy that he does not own the country. He has already fallen apart with his vice president, so I mean George Weah cannot win Lofa, he cannot win Bond County. Obviously, he would never win Nima County because he said the people from Nima are hooligans. How dare do you talk to your people like that? What do you drink? Do you drink their piss? These were the same people that voted for you. You never traveled, made a comment toward to say, thank you for what you people have done. Or you fool to getting within 2 days, you spent $270,000 US. People are leaving Ghana, coming home, knowing that they come and die because they can't afford to pay for the dialysis treatment. But we have this clown as president that continue to erase himself at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people. Back to the field of play. The The ball came to hard time to unemployment to outside Tolly, aka Liberia, outside Tolly to urgent care, aka 14 military hospital. Then the ball comes back to pay as you go to desperation to drugs abuse to Ebola looks around to between me and you. Two men secret, they're not secret. Then the ball comes back to hypocrisy looks around, will he make it? No, he doesn't. The ball comes back to a sycophancy to misplaced reality. Then the ball comes back to murder to statutory rapist to retaliation is moving deep in the head of the field. The ball comes to insurrection to presidential brown envelope to suppression looks around to provocation to wish hunt to monkey web baboon draw to boyo to country local life to border wide open 5 that to cross the border, 10 that to cross the border. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes back to the return of the fugitive to death squad to 14 military hospital, aka country local life 14 military hospital, aka urgent care looks around to shake from the waist below to sex for job looks around to mattress on the back to hang my curtain to our equal they ain't want us, all the baby men are looking for young girls, because our equal they ain't want us. Beast one put to the team, the ball come to presidential brown envelope to Johnny Chebo looks around, will he make it? No, he doesn't. Going back to the field of play fix, I'm telling you. Then the ball comes to hemo sacrifice to internal bleeding to abuse of power to human rights abuse to witch hunt looks around, will he make it? No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes back to bribery. You have to bribe for everything, because election is around the corner now. They're trying to make it seem like they're in the interest of the people and the Liberian people. Lee can down all the Indians are criticizing George Weah now, because in October there will be election. Where was you, Lee Kanga? There's no head, no tail, and we told you last night that on the 3rd of next month, we'll make it 1 year since the death of Matthew Ennis. And it will be out there where newspapers will go out. Will be sold out. Because it's a new twist now in the case of Matthew Ennis. And we're also hearing there will be another new twist in the death of Odell Sherman. You kill these people. You sleep with them, you murder them to destroy evidence. By the end of the day, God is wearing short trousers now. This country does not belong to you alone. This country is for all Liberians. You begin a soccer player, you made a lot of money. You never built a zinc shop in Southtown. By the time you were elected, you started building 215 homes in your home county. You never build a zinc shop there when you made a lot of money. You go to Gibraltar where you claim you're from. You never thought about changing the routes in Gibraltar. You spent almost $2 million in changing the routes in Gibraltar. When in reality, they cost about $87 to $300,000. But you put in the budget over $1 million. And you put in the budget $1.5 million for your wife, the Jamaican woman, who lied to the international community that she'd been doing this charity thing for over 20 years. Why we never heard about it? Why we heard about your charity for the first time in July of 2018? Because your husband is the president and you have access to all kinds of money. This is not fair for Liberia. This is not fair for the people of Liberia. God is wearing short trousers now, folks. I'm telling you. Back to the field of play. The ball comes to my first on the back to sex for Jah to shake from the waist below, shakes from the waist below to the return of the fugitive. The return of the fugitive, the market where baboon draw onto suffocation. Suffocation looks around to D-hole cover hole. D-hole cover hole to Von aka Drongo back to Von beats one put to the teammate. The ball comes to Wishon looks around to a Seco fence head. Then the ball comes back to between me and you to Weabola looks around to Stupidation back to me and myself and I, aka George Weah. Me myself out of desperation pay as you go to Osap Tolly, aka Liberia, Osap Tolly to unemployment to D hole cover hole, then the book on the drunker, aka from where moving deep in the 150. I'm telling you. Vonvon looks around to urgent care, aka 14 military hospital, back to unemployment to drunk car, aka Vonvon. Vonvon looks around to Osap Toilet to pay as you go onto hard time to please pay my way to Hong Kong back to please pay my way onto pay as you go, back to please pay my way to unemployment to please pay my way. Will he make it? No, he will not interview. The boy comes to unemployment to please pay my way back to unemployment. Ladies and gentlemen, goal number 1 for societal ills.
Baby, anytime I smile, you can do me like say I don't see you kind. Anytime I smile,
please pay my way.
I don't see you tight. Baba can give me
connected unemployment.
Give me you fire.
Call number 1 for societal ills, folks. I'm afraid that's how we come to the end of this game. In the injury stopping time. A beautiful combination there from please pay my way to unemployment. 1 goal to societal ills. And nothing to Liberia. Folks, I'm telling you, the referee has sounded the whistle, and that's how we come to the end of this game. 1 goal to societal ills and nothing to Liberia. And folks, what a beautiful political soccer game. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. But just before then, we have got to get our parting comments from Habiba Clinton from Liberia. He's our local correspondent there, and then we'll go back to Letime Roberts, and we can call the quits tonight. Habiba?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ashford, for the platform, and also those who took their precious time to be part of the entire broadcast. And we hope and pray that we're going to be with you people by the grace of God tomorrow.
Okay. Information Highway, Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts.
Yes, Mr. Garley, BridgeRadioAfrica.com. If you missed the show, you came in late, don't be disappointed. It's okay, because you can still find us at BridgeRadioAfrica.com.
And they can also visit our YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube page, and they will have all the previous shows as well.
That's correct. Yep. And in closing, Mr. Garley, we want to say thank you for your creativity and bringing us the issues at hand. And in any society, as you know, our guest told us yesterday, without the rule of law, the people will not grow. Things will not go smoothly as they should, because everybody has to be held accountable. And the younger generation are looking up to the older people, and the examples that we set is what they will emulate. So we have to be careful when we do the things that we do. Someone is watching. Besides God, the children that we have, our own children, and along with the community children. When I was growing up, my mother would tell me, the town has eyes. So you may think no one sees you, but someone sees you every time you do something that's either illegal or immoral or unethical. So I said, thank you again. Thank you to our correspondent, Habiba, and to our listening audience. May God bless you. Have a great evening. And it takes a village. All of us bring something to this table. Thank you. Find out what your talent is. And of course, Mr. Garley can help you nourish it.
And you came for the music and stayed for what now?
I came for the music and I stayed for the commentary. I just want you to know that I haven't been hearing enough of my zouk. I have to go to all shows to get my zouk on.
Okay. We will try to see what we can do. And that's the voice of Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts from Information Highway. Once again, what is a big thanks to our sponsors, Faya Coffee, Nelly Say, Lamin Shepherd, Edna Yates, Wilkerman Sandolo, Ebit Liberian, Eric Marshall, Paul Maximo, M. Penn, Francis Power, Dr. Mariah Sita, Dendu Hunter. want to say a big thanks to you for what you've done and continue to do for Bridge Radio. And folks, I'm telling you, this would take the Bridge Radio, especially our local producers in Liberia, a long way. And we need your help. We can't do this by ourselves. We are not in the pockets of politicians. We are not in the pockets of the government. We are doing this, and you are the reasons why we're here. You and our brothers and sisters in Liberia, we don't have options. And we also like to say a big thanks to Catherine Jones. Thank you so much, Mia Kaye. I also like to say a big thanks to Theresa Williams, Beatrice Loken, Mr. Mohammed A. Kenneth, and Tamila King. I want to say a big thanks to all of you for what you've done. And listen, I know you are busy. You love this platform, but don't be selfish. Share the video. Love the page. Go on YouTube. If you miss the show and the show that you have not seen for months, you will see it. When you tap in Political Soccer Game, all of our previous shows will come up and you will have the opportunity to watch the shows. But please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because in the long run, just because of your subscription, and YouTube will start to advertise on our channel, and the next thing you know, we will start to generate funds. And Mr. Emmanuel Ducola, I'm not sure whether you're still in Liberia, but want to say a big thanks to all those that called in tonight, including our friend, sister, and hardworking advocate, Howard Merchka, Evangeline Mamin Tar, and the song tonight in honor of Mark and the Pico and the rest of the folks. Folks, God willing, I will be back tomorrow afternoon. Same time, same place. Please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises. And there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't say that medicine. When a crawfish come from underneath the water and say the crocodile here sweating, don't say that lie. Last time when I call you, you don't be sure how you give me. You don't tell me, see, mama don't seek. The one where I go wound you, it don't be $5 one, it be $20 one. Folks, we'll talk to you tomorrow. And Mrs. Eloise Olive Garley, please accept my thank you for allowing me to use the space in your domicile to do my podcast. This has been yours truly, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. That's what they call him. Ashford the giant. That now you know me. One copy, Garley. God bless you and have a good night.
Think but you, yeah. All they think of you, yeah. Baby, my love is true. My love is true, baby. You the one I really need, yeah. You the one I really want, yeah. You know I'm gonna bring me joy. You bring me joy. Love it on me on, baby, baby. Play that guitar, make we get some fun. Chiggy, chiggy, me, baby, come and figgy, me.
Baby. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, sweet baby.
Don't go. Don't go. Okay, all right.
Show me love way past Bakane.
Hey, my begin, what happened?
I said, my metro, I do verse all day today. I was walking. The gear bending. No car to go hustle. I can't. Jebena himself go small driver. I go ask her. She issue me talk. Telling me say she tired and I'm feeling okay today. So she will start cooking the time she feel it. She not feeling cooking. I said, Jebe, what you making you not feeling good? Jebe won't talk back to me. I whistle on your ear. All the people go hustle. You can't no food. That one. Then issue me talk. I beg you, man.
No, my man John. The bad you do, no, the bad. Oh, but you don't know beating woman understand now. Ever since this time, my man, we can just talk to our woman. You can say sweet into them. We can talk it that sweet. No, you can say
my wife,
hey, my daddy,
wife,
my sweetie, hey man, I'm hungry. Now where do you go today? Or they didn't do I don't like it, but to be woman that bad. No, I say my own chemo. The naked way I can talk to her, say everything can be all right. She can be happy. I can get anything I want. And you know, and you see how she can be happy with our children say. So look, John, my brother, when you vex, I have your friend here. Can't lecture with me. I will lecture you how to take care of a woman to cool your heart. I will show you woman 101. Beating woman not good. You are a star. And look at you. Who the woman you ever? Because when your friend, man, he will bust your dude.
This announcement was brought to you by Diaspora Women for Change Incorporated and Alliance for Liberian Women International.
Woman, I see a woman.
Yeah,